Friday afternoon here, just before Canada Day long weekend. Let's do a quick walk around here, getting a lot closer to getting this Fair Lady into primer. I think that's where they're heading. They've been waiting on for some seals and bumpers and stuff to make sure everything's in order, and it should be good to go into prime. All right, over in the hot rod shop end of things, they wanted to use the trailer this morning, so they've pulled the Land Cruiser out. Everything's just laid out here so we can make some room on the shelves here ahead of this Corvette and get everything organized properly and inventoried properly. And yeah, so we'll just do a quick walk around. You already seen this, well, I videoed this yesterday picking it up, but yeah, so we're gonna inventory all these parts and pieces and get it going. So that's that. Then over here we have the 57. We've got the engine now moved ahead, looks much better. Motor mounts are all put back in. Yeah, a little bit of clearance back here. We've made him a cover. He doesn't want to go too deep into rebuilding a bunch of stuff, so we've made a cover for this. We'll clean it up and paint it, and then the holes for your vintage air and everything will come through it nicely with some pass-throughs. So yeah, we're making headway there. Jim Burt's car, that's going to go to sandblast and epoxy. He's been wanting to keep this one a bit secret, but I think he mentioned it's going to the Deuce Days as an unfinished project, which means it's no longer a secret if that's what he's doing until then. But I doubt we'll have this video up before then. That's a few weeks away. Here's his chassis, which you get a better look at it with the body off. So get the Corvette tube in there with the rear engine, or sorry, rear transmission and transaxle. So Corbin's had to do some welding on the top of the chassis that we weren't able to get to with the body on. And then I think he wants to talk to us about painting the chassis. So we're gonna look at doing that. Let's head over and do upholstery, see what's happening over here. And Lyle has been working on carpet today in the Buick McLaughlin, yes. So he's got the rear carpet in here, looking really nice. All the rear seating's all done. And yeah, working on the front carpet. Then he's got the front seats to do. He's got the jump seats done here. I think one of the last videos I did over here, he was working on these. So those are looking nice. So yeah, coming along. He's getting excited to be out of it because it's just it's a cool car and whatnot, but it's not a custom job, so it's not as exciting, you know, just kind of work at this point. But still a super cool car and looking really nice. So he'll be out of this one real soon, and then we can dive deep into the green 40 over there and get that one done. The coupe, we didn't push it to get to the Chilliwack show, but we definitely only have a few weeks left to get it done for Deuce Days. So I'm gonna make some phone calls today on parts, see what's going on with the Cerakoting and whatnot, and hopefully early next week we can start assembling that. So anyway, that's about it for today over at the hot rod shop. All right, just over in the auto shop, do a quick walk through here. Got a Camaro here with a tunnel ram that is off, and the story I got is the intake doesn't match the heads properly, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening there. And then here, I can't remember if I videoed any of this earlier this week. I pulled the starter out, but yeah, anyway, I basically just by looks, I went on Power Master's website and found the matching starter, so we got that in. And I gotta clock this. They did polish this one, so maybe I can even swap that over, but gotta clock that over, put it in and make sure everything's happy before we see if Kevin wants us to paint this one. That one was all painted to match. Not sure if it matters at this point. It's not on the show circuit anymore, and now that we've had to tighten up all that suspension in the rear, all the paint is obviously coming off. So yeah, in here too, so we need to figure out what he wants us to do with that. So yeah, anyway, we will get to all that as soon as we can. The Jurassic Park, so this one's here for transmission. It's got a bearing noise and clutch slave or master leaking, but we'll change that in a pair. So I think yeah, they have the transmission out over here. So yeah, it has a bearing noise and no fifth gear. We have put the snap ring back on. You can see the gear is right at the back here, so the gear is already popped back. It's super common with these. I think there's an upgrade we can do. We tried fixing it a couple times in the vehicle and it kept popping the snap ring. This time around, pull it right out and look at the bearing and change both the slave and master cylinders and make sure it's not dripping any more brake fluid and get a good clutch back out of it. So that's all apart for that. And then here's that tunnel ram I was talking about. The Camaro in Bay 1. So they've got a tunnel ram with dual snipers. Yeah. Dual sniper tunnel ram. And then over here we've got the Bronco getting assembled. I haven't got an update on that yet today. I wasn't supposed to be here today, but I figured I'm here, I better get some video going. So yeah, there we go. So that's about it over here in automotive for right now until I get some updates on what we're doing with everything. Figure out what we're doing with this. I didn't get an update. I know that was a piston slap issue and not 100% sure where we're all at with this Camaro as well. So I will get some updates for you guys soon. Here we go. We got some primer going on. Fair Lady.